So yes, now it's 6 o'clock. Time to start, let's say officially. Many thanks for joining the speakers now in this Zoom call. Today we have only the speakers. We are still missing one. We are missing Jay. Hopefully he will join in time for his talk. But we are also live on Facebook, and for the now this time it's a bit different to the usual setup where we normally have the Zoom call that is open. But so if there are questions coming for the speakers, we'll have a look during the meeting at the comments on Facebook, and for next time we will try to make this differently so that people can also join the Zoom call again. Let's see how we can organize for that. So we have, I'm trying now to manipulate my thing here. Yeah, before we start with the agenda, there is one small, well, not that small, but let's say a nice piece of information that I wanted to share. Is that we are organizing the first, let's say, physical meeting. So far, we always had, after a bit more than 2 years, we had 8 meetings, but all live online meetings. And the idea is to launch something where people would physically join in a place. So in Europe, we're still discussing with the location. About organizing the first Commodore user hackathon, and what would be this event. So it's not like just we come and we share and we show the nice computer we have. It would be really organized like a hackathon where we start by making a theme selection and then building up teams. Right, people are willing to work on something specific, like I don't know, it can be designing a new hardware or coding a new tool, or maybe some people who are already working together on something can just take the opportunity to join and set objectives for the weekend and work on these things. And so we set up the objectives, let's say, for the day after, so it would be over a weekend, starting the Saturday morning or close to lunchtime, and finishing the day after, not too late, because of course we need to allow people to come to the location and to travel back. And then, yes, as soon as this is set up, then people can just hack together, work on their thing, and then the day after we have a nice recap session, and we share, and maybe we just define what are the next steps, and we see things being created, build up, and maybe we follow up in the next Commodore Users Europe meetings like this one. Yeah, so this is an idea that is currently being organized, I would say. The location with whom we are talking to at the moment would organize most of the, let's say, practical things, like we try to have like organizing some possibilities for lunch and maybe for a dinner afterwards as well. And before really committing to organizing this, there were asking like if we could provide some feedback on the idea, if we like the idea, if the people are ready to let's say to spend the weekend on site and to spend some money in these kind of activities, and if there is some interest. So we have built a little form that is available. Of course, from this link now you cannot click it, but I will put it in the comments of the meeting afterwards, after or during the talk today. I will put that in so that anybody can contribute and just provide their feedback. Yeah. So I hope there will be some enthusiasm. I'm very enthusiastic about this. we see. The agenda for today is slightly changed compared to what was initially announced. Yeah, because I think here is still the timing of last week, but we have decided then to switch. Sven with Tito. So Tito will start first, if you don't mind. I had to share the change agenda because he wanted to start a bit earlier. So with a compiler for Pascal on the 6502. Tito, are you with us? I know you are, but can you just then unmute and then you can start? Are you there? Yeah, okay. And just before you start, just wait a second. I will record. You know, I always record the sessions, so that later on they are also distributed on our YouTube platform. Yeah. So according to GDPR, of course, we are in Europe, so I need to inform you that this is being recorded. And if you're not happy with recording, then yeah, you should just not participate, I would say. So I'm recording now, and you can start. Tito, the floor is yours. But you're again muted, Tito. You need to unmute.
Okay.
My turn?
Yes.
Okay.
No, sorry, no, Ozkan, no, Tito.
Okay, muting.
Okay, can you see?
I can see your screen. Yes, thank you.
Okay, I want to start. Hi, my name is Tito Hinostroza. I am electronic engineer, and I am a programmer too. And now I'm going to talk about my compiler, the P65 pass. Well, first of all, what is the P65 pass? Well, that's a project. I would say this is the name of the project that includes a compiler, an IDE, and several tools included in the IDE. So this is not just only a compiler. About the compiler and the IDE, they are both desktop applications, they are multi-platforms, and they are open source. So they are published in the GitHub. About the technologies, both the compiler and the IDE have been created from scratch using the Object Pascal programming language, the Free Pascal compiler, and the Lazarus IDE. All of the projects have been developed in Pascal or Object Pascal. Let's talk about the compiler. The compiler is a command line program. If you want, you can execute it as a simple command line program. You can control by commands, or you can integrate on your favorite editor or IDE. So it's very easy to work with your favorite tool. This program is cross-platform. You can execute in the same way at the Windows or in Linux. About the assembly support, the compiler is very complete in the assembler, like probably Turbo Pascal has been, because we can include the assembler code directly in the source code of Pascal. You can use your instructions, your opcodes, your operators, operands, labels, and data definitions, jumps, or directives. So it's like having an assembly in the Pascal editor. About some features of the compiler, I will say that it's a very fast compiler. This is binary code executing. It's not like Python or some interpreted language. This is an application that is compiled for very fast and compiling fast too. Many operations are done in memory and don't access to the disk. About the language, I would say that the compiler handles the Pascal language and the modular 2 programming language. We can switch between language with some directive. And the code generated is quite optimized. Probably many compilers say that they generate very optimized code, but I would say that the main objective of the compiler has been created very compact code. About optimization, there are some options and techniques like extensive use of the registers. We have the constant folding, constant propagation, embedded logic, smart code generation. That means that when code are generated, in some cases, the code are simplified to create a code that don't is use the same value or storing the same value twice or many times. And there are some other optimization techniques. This is a simple comparison about the code generated by the P65 pass and the KICC compiler, that is very optimized compiler, and the CC 5065 compiler. As we can see, we have very compact code generated in the same program with 18 instructions. About the compiler design, this is similar to some other compilers. We have the analysis, the stage, one lexical and syntactic analyzer. We have an optimization stage. Here we do many optimization techniques. We have the synthesis stage where the code generation is done, and there are some additional optimization. All of these stages work with intermediate representation, that is the abstract syntax tree, the AST. The analysis generate the AST, fill it. In optimization, we have some modification and change on the AST. In synthesis, we use the information of the AST to generate the code. Some important difference from other compilers probably is that we don't use some external assembler or some external tool. And even we don't use a linker to generate a binary, because the code generation generates directly the binary code. And some very particular of this compiler is that it's well documented, because there are probably 300 pages of documentation about the compiler that you can access from the GitHub too. So if you want to understand more about how this compiler is working, you can read it in the public site. This is a hello world code. As we can see, very simple. I think we can show this. Okay, we have the compiler over here. As you can see, it's very fast for opening and for closing too. This program is of 8 megabytes size, so very compact. And the program doesn't need any dependencies. Here you don't need to install anything about external program. Let's see how I can do hello world. Mm. This is a Hello World program for the Commodore 64. So if I want to change the platform, I need to change the unit. And this is a call for a function of the kernel. And I need to include the return instruction to give the pointer to the Commodore 64 system. So I can compile this. And as we can see, this is a very fast compilation time, very compact code too. This is how we write Hello World in the compiler. So it's very, very easy. Let's talk about the IDE. The IDE, like have you seen, is very complete. We have many tools over here. We have an editor. We have the editor tabs. We have syntax highlighting. As you can see, we have several colors like modern editors. We have auto-completion. Auto-completion, we can use something like this. We have code folding. We have block highlighting. Or we can have word highlighting. We have column mode. We have multiple word change. So it's very easy to work with the IDE. About some features, we have to support for several programming languages. What does it mean? That we can define or use other language, not only Pascal, because in the settings, we have the syntax, and we have defined some language like assembler, C, or Pascal, but we can define too some other language. For example, here we have some files to define this language that you can edit. You can edit the syntax. Here we have the syntax definition, the words for highlighting, the completion. So you can create your language. You can add support for Python, Java, or any other language. You just create a file and give the control to the IDE, and you will see the language will appear here. So you can use the IDE with other language. We have some schemes or team support. The compiler and the IDE can be configured for support several schemes. Okay, you want to change, probably you change. Or you leave in the default. And you can create your custom scheme if you want. You set the colors, the text, and then you save that configuration as a theme, and you can use on the IDE. we have external tool too. We can. That means that if I want to test my code, probably I want to include an emulator like the Commodore 64 emulator, and I can call over here to see the result of the code. I am executing the code over here, as you can see, because I have set an external tool, or many external tools for emulators, and I can assign a button of the toolbar, and then I just call the emulator from here and execute my code. So it's very easy to test the code over here. And as I use an emulator, I can use a compiler or some other external tools too. Well, I have an assembler panel too, the compiler. If I want to see the code, this is the output in assembler language. So very easy to see. If you change something external, you will see how it's changing over here. And I can do this in real time too, because I can activate complete compilation, and for example, I can detect errors in real time, or I can generate the code in real time. So you can see the output over here quickly. And some important, the program doesn't have any dependencies. You don't need to install anything. Probably you just need to copy the binary, the executable file, and that's all that you need to compile and test your programs. This is the IDE program, but the compiler is integrated in the code of the IDE. So you don't need to have the command line compiler program, because the IDE includes its internal. About the tools, well, we have the syntax tree. That it means that I can see exactly what is the some elements on how is the ASP, because this tree is the real representation of the ASP that the compiler used. So you can see over here how this is changing according to the code. You want to see, you can see some properties about some elements. You can even go to the part of the source code. You can analyze and see how is the compiler working internally. So this is very useful if you want to learn about compilers. We have a memory explorer. If I compile something like this, I can see how the memory is going to be filled, some position where the code is located in the memory map. And we have the debugger. Debugger is a very powerful tool, because the code compiled can be execute it over here like an emulator, and I can execute step by step and see how the register changes or the memory changes. I can even do not only step-by-step debugger, but I can execute even this in real time. So I'm executing this program in real time. We can see how the time is passing and how many cycles are being used in the CPU, because this is like a virtual CPU. Well, some questions about the compiler. What is missing? Well, this is a new project, and there are many things that are missing. There are some features not yet implemented. For example, we don't have the floating point support, and we need some more libraries or code because the compiler is a compiler for the 6502 CPU, but when I want to compile from special target like Commodore 64, I need to include a library, and I need to create a library to can use that platform. So we need to create several libraries that is missing the compiler, but it's a work in progress. Why Pascal? Many people ask me why Pascal, why not C? Well, there are some advantages of Pascal, but I think this is a very long discussion. Here we have some issues I want to show about Pascal. Like it's a high-level language, it's to learn and teach. It's a safe language, so it's very easy to work with Pascal. And it's easy to maintain and easy to learn too. What's next? Currently, the compiler has support for the 65C02, but it's not a very complete support, so we are adding some complete support. We are adding support for floating types too, and some object support too. Compiler have a design that is oriented to object in programming. So I can do something like probably object declaration methods like this. So the design of the compiler includes an object orientation. Even when I say that something like this, or when I say something like this, what I'm doing is call to a method the class. Bytes are like class, and operators are like methods that we can see in the system unit. All operations like addition, subtraction are like methods that we can call using the name or using just the operator. Well, we need to include more platforms too. Some demos. Well, let's try some code. I can show some sample code like this, probably. This is a simple screen manipulation. Some more graphic. in graphic mode. Some of picture. Some of sound. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's sounding. Well, there are many programs we can do, but these are some samples. Some conclusions that the compiler is a work in progress. We are doing many changes in the last week and months. This is a real open source project. You can see the source code, documentation, and binaries. All information is published. And the compiler is not only for a program, but we can use it for learning or teaching about compiler, because the IDE includes many tools that make easy about learning about the compilers and assembling too. Well, that's all. I don't know if you have some questions.
Good, thank you. I don't see questions in the chat. I'm also looking now on the Facebook page, but I don't see any comments or questions so far. But maybe I have some, or maybe I don't know if someone on the attendees, please, if you have questions, don't hesitate to unmute and ask. Maybe I had one in the meantime, because yeah, you call it a 6502 Pascal compiler, but then you showed the memory mapping. If we take, of course, here we are interested in Commodores, right? But if we take like the Apple II or something, if you build something, I guess the mapping, the way the memory is used is probably different. How do you handle that?
Well, the memory map is a reflex of the device, the internal device. This is a compiler for the 6502 CPU, as I said. And if we define a platform like the Commodore 64, if we see the unit, we will see some directives to define the memory map.
Oh, okay, so, well, yeah, you define it. Okay.
The memory map, and if we use some other unit, like probably the, I don't know, if we use the Commodore 128, this unit will define a different memory map.
Yeah, okay. I think that also answers the question I see Ozkan has put in the comment. Will it support other devices like Apple and Nest? But then I didn't know the Nest was 6502 actually. But okay, but that answers that.
Derivative, I would say, should work.
Good. Yeah. Any other questions? Otherwise, I have one.
I was looking how it is distributed. I saw that there are some precompiled packages for Linux. Yes. So, are you recommending to use them? It's using Snap. Do you know about that, Tito?
Do you refer to use the Linux binary?
Yes, exactly. So can I use some package manager to install it, or should I build it from sources?
This is a portable program. You can build it in Linux. You can compile it from the Lazarus IDE, and you can execute. And that's a binary, just like in Windows. You just execute the binary. Don't need to install. But it's probably the best way to install. But I can create a package manager, but it's not needed. It's a simple program, common program, or in Linux, if you using a graphic version, well, you will see the ID like here. but in the Linux version.
Yeah, okay. I will play with that definitely. I like this live compiling and I like this preview. As you said, it's a great way to learn about compiling.
Good, thank you. Tito, I had also a question because you showed it as well in command line, right? And so you have options now. Usually we have, when we see new compilers popping up, and then people add some options. And then, like you have the options like, I don't know, -C, -L, or -BV to be verbose, or -L to do some logging or something. And I was wondering if you have followed some kind of existing options, if you made it in the same way, so that people don't need to learn new options, or did you just create options based on I don't know, your own selection?
Well, for command line, I was using some commands of Free Pascal compiler, trying to adapt from Free Pascal if they exist. If they don't exist, I create them myself.
Okay. So someone who knows already this other compiler, he can just adapt easily to this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good. Okay. I don't have any more questions. I don't see more in the chat. Let me just refresh the page on Facebook to see if someone has added anything in there. No, I don't see anything. The GitHub link that you have put there, I will put it as well on the agenda page, right? If that's okay for you, Tito, because it was not on the agenda. So I will put that there, and then of course after the meeting, when we have the recorded link on YouTube, I will also put that in. So thanks a lot, Tito. I will stop the recording now. And then who is next? I think is Sven, right? Yes, Sven with the harness. Let me just start the recording of your talk, and then you can unmute. That's not done yet. Sven, the floor is yours.
So this one, and do you see my presentation?
No, I think you need to click on share screen somewhere.
Okay. Actually, share screen. And this one. Okay. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So let's start. Okay, so the topic of my presentation is the diagnostic harness for the revision 58.62.20 diagnostic software. I just want to introduce myself a bit. So I was born in 1965 in Germany. I started hobby electronics in 1979, and 1 year later, it was my first Commodore computer experience. And I kind of got stuck with programming, computers, and that. So I was writing business software for the Commodore 8632 from between 1980 and 1991. I have studied electronics in Munich on the at the Technical University. After that, I became a hardware developer, and my back to the Commodore computer hobby was in 2018, and since then I have released quite a lot of open hardware projects on GitHub. So the diagnostic revision with a long number is a diagnostic cartridge software which is provided by Commodore for service purposes and maybe for testing and production, which I don't know. It tests the RAM, the PLA, it tests ROM, which is kernel, basic, and character ROM. It tests the interfaces and timers and interrupts, and it does a basic sound test, which is just an audible thing. You have to listen to it. And it will test all generators and all voices and stuff like that, but it doesn't test the filters. So you get yourself a diagnostic cartridge and insert it into your perfectly working C64, and then this happens. You see a lot of bad ICs, of bad devices. And this is very often seen on social media, and people are just desperate because they say, oh, 2 bad CIAs, that totals to 60 euro, and a bad SID that will then sum up to 120 euro or even more. I don't know the prices nowadays. The thing is, the software requires a diagnostic harness. And this is this one. This is as shown in the C64 diagnostic instruction and troubleshooting manual from Commodore. And as you can see, it has this cable harness assembly, which is not really a fun thing if you want to build it. Cable making is never fun. So, okay. This is a picture provided by Arek of exactly this harness. And he has a C64 cartridge, and he also has a C128 cartridge. So you know, okay, you can use the same thing for testing a C128. He's lacking the keyboard PCB already. So my goal was to make a harness for the masses and not the classes. Today, it's desirable to have a diagnostic harness for a couple of reasons. Number one, there is no Commodore repair center anymore anywhere. You know, you have to do it yourself, or you have to know somebody who could do it. You might want to test a C64 that you just bought for your collection. And the next thing is, you might want to prove your C64 that you want to sell on eBay or somewhere else works flawlessly, so you can get a better price. So I think today is a higher demand for diagnostic harnesses than back in the 1980s. The goal of developing the harness was that probably a little to medium experienced maker can build it. This was my revision 0. The development is based on information that I have retrieved from worldofyanni.com. In particular, the schematic drawn by Petersen in 2009. It was probably reverse engineered. I don't have any more information about it. So the thing is, I want to use easy to get components. All cables are ribbon cable based. No crib tools are required, no cable soldering, and only through-hole components, because sometimes the gentlemen here don't like to solder surface mount devices. Okay, so you can see there's a user port dongle, which we also have in the Commodore harness. There's a cassette dongle, which is something new. The purpose is just you can connect it with the ribbon cable to the user port harness. The keyboard dongle is like we had it before. there's an IEC bus dongle because it's really easy to make. You only have to put 2 wires, install 2 wires. And the user port to control port cables are all ribbon cable based. Okay. So this is how you make the ribbon cables. You just need a vise. You insert the ribbon cable into the connector and then you squeeze it. Finally, you can install a strain relief because you will, well, probably plug and unplug the cable many times. So a strain relief is a really good thing to have. It's the same with the D-sub connector. It's also insert the ribbon cable and squeeze it with your vise. Do not use the rainbow ribbon cable because I have seen it a couple of times that it does not fit the grid. And I had sent Adrian from Adrian's Digital Basement a set of PCBs for the harness, and he wanted to make ribbon cable. He was using exactly this type of stuff, and as you can see, it will cut the wire everywhere, but it just does not fit. So this is a picture of the first harness. That was in March 2019. And a little bit later, I had a 3D printer. So I was creating and printing the cases for the harness components. So I love block diagrams. So I've drawn one. And this is the block diagram of the original harness. You see, this is the cable assembly, the cassette connector, IEC bus connector. It's all connected to the user port. And the difference of my harness is like that. You know, we don't have this because it's easy to make. We have on the cassette dongle, we have a motor LED. So you can see if something is going on, even if the monitor is dark, you could see the motor LED going on and off. You also have an alternative power LED on the keyboard dongle, because usually, you know, you install the keyboard dongle and you take off the keyboard and the whole upper part from the C64, and you don't have any power LED anymore. So if you have this, you can see your C64 switched on or off, which is, I think, a great thing, because you don't want to work on a switched on C64. Okay. A couple of months later, I think it was actually a year later, somebody from Turkey reported to me, there's a problem with your harness. When I just don't install the analog switches, the ICs on the user port dongle, then it works perfectly. So what happens? If you have a look at the schematic, you see that the keyboard and the control ports are sharing port signals. So what actually happens if you have the user port dongle and the keyboard dongle installed is that the user port dongle might switch, but the keyboard dongle always short circuits the switches. So what is nowhere described in the manual is that you should test the C64 first with the keyboard dongle and then just do a second pass without a keyboard dongle. And which is actually, this fact is described in the C128 service manual. So the solution is switch both feedbacks. and with the same software. I didn't change anything about in the software. So I have the switch off for the user port, which is testing the control ports, and for the keyboards, and both are switched. So alternatively switched, so you can do it in one pass. This is this led to revision 1 of the harness. What is Q is a cable to the between the keyboard dongle and the user port dongle, because you want to switch the feedbacks. And there's a sense LED on the cassette port dongle, plus an edge connector, as you can see here. And this is still the same nowadays. So the sense signal will just change between some passes of the diagnostic software. There has been an evolution of the harnesses. A revision 2 came, well, probably half a year later, because I had to reorder PCBs, and I was thinking of what can I improve. So the improvement is, if you have a SX64, it does not have a cassette port, you need to switch the control port feedbacks manually, which is done by this switch. So this is all in revision 2. Revision 3 is not yet released on GitHub. It has actually an additional light show. We have a voltmeter for the 5 volts. We have a presence LED for 9 volt AC, and we have a presence LED for 5 volt DC. The reason is, if you have like a fancy power supply with a voltage indicator or voltage voltmeter on it, the number is completely irrelevant. You know, it does not make sense, the number, because you want to know the voltage inside the C64. You have a voltage drop over the cable, you have a voltage drop in the DIN connector, and you have a voltage drop maybe in the switch, in case it's not really good anymore. So the user port is a good place where you measure the internal voltage of the C64. This is how it looks. The case became a little bit bigger, and yes, this is the diagnostic software. We have the ribbon cable to the cassette port dongle. We have the ribbon cable to the control port dongle. This is the IEC port dongle and the 2 control port ribbon cables. Those are the PCBs, the printed circuit boards. I have made an SMD version of it in revision 2, and I've continued it in revision 3. The reason for the SMD version is because Retro Rewind in Canada is mass producing the diagnostic harnesses, and he has a pick and place machine, and it helps him a lot to reduce the time building the dongle, which is then helping to sell it for a cheaper price. That's the diagnostic cartridge. My first diagnostic cartridge was based on the Versa C64 card, and I had the idea to combine the dead test and the diagnostic into one cartridge. And finally, I have made a simple version, because the other, with the Versa card, it requires to solder cables, which we don't like. And so this is the cartridge. It has a really low part count. It only has an EEPROM capacitor, 3 resistors, an LED, which is, well, if you want it or not, and reset switch, which I think is pretty important, and it has 2 slide switches, and that's it. So it's really simple to build, and it's really cheap to build, and there is nothing fancy on it either. The only thing that is required is an EEPROM programmer, which is like 40 euro nowadays. Okay. This is the harness connected to a C64, which is the ASCII number 250 for 69. So the keyboard is here. Usually the keyboard connector is on the left side. This is the voltage indicated. It's pretty interesting to see the voltage, because when you jiggle the power cable, you will see how low it can get. It still works with 4.3 volts, but this depends on the C64 too. I once had a C64 that did not work with a straight 5-volt input. Okay, the user port dongle, the cassette port dongle, IEC bus dongle, keyboard dongle, diagnostic cartridge, and that's it. So we have a good pass in the diagnostic. Everything is okay, so this is what you want to see. The next thing I already mentioned, that you could test the C128 with it. It requires a different diagnostic software, of course, and it requires a different keyboard dongle, because the keyboard, it's not the same like in the C64. This is it, connected to the C128. The keyboard dongle is in a case that I have 3D printed. It is provided by Retro Rewind CA. He has sent me his data, so I could print myself one. The diagnostic cartridge and the keyboard dongle. Okay, so this is how a good pass of the diagnostic software looks like. This is really a screenshot of the C128. It takes quite a while. As you can see, one pass is almost 2.5 minutes, which is most of the time is the RAM test. So my resources for this project was the world of Johnny.com. The harness hardware is on my GitHub. I have scanned the C64 and C128 diagnostic instruction and troubleshooting manuals, which is definitely a recommended read, because if you don't understand what it tests and how it reports, you might feel confused by the results you see. So I have put that on my archive.org page, and you can also find it like at zimmers.net or something. It is in several places, maybe not the same version that I have done. Okay, and my website is this one. Oops. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Sven. I don't know if there are any questions from the attendees. I'm looking at the chat, I don't see.
I don't have a question, but I just have one remark. I was wondering how I recognize your name. But basically, some time ago, I just bought, somebody in Poland did it, but this is your design. It's audio video breakout. It's a brilliant thing. I mean, as you said, making cable is never fun. I made several by myself, but I mean, they usually fail. This never fails.
Yes, I'm king of adapters.
Yeah. This looks especially good with a flat plane SD2 IUC together plugged in the back of my breadwin. It looks just nerdish.
Yes. Oh, I have plenty of those.
Yeah.
This is for the 128.
Yeah.
128.
This is
I don't
for
know.
the
Yeah.
VIC-20.
Yeah.
This is for the C64.
664.
And
There must be different layout for each computer because the arrangement of the ports is different, and this will
for the C64 and the C128, it is just different because the ports, the IDE port and the IEC port and the video connector are swapped. So this is just the reason for the different geometry. And I really appreciate when people build my stuff and sell it, because then I don't have to do it, because my my building time goes off my project time, and I actually prefer project time.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm looking at the Facebook, but there is no questions there. I had two. The first question: Do you have any idea of how many people have built it so far, considering all the revision? So 012.
I think it was built in the hundreds, if not in the thousands. I have like 150 stars on that GitHub page, and I know that that Retro Rewind mass produced it, and he's selling it for, I think, a pretty fair price. I mean, there's always work in it, and he sells it for like $79, the harness. So I think it's really a fair price.
Yeah.
I was selling mine for cheaper.
And then you need to spend your weekend on that and not on the.
I don't know. I just don't want to make a profit, because then I would have to do something about taxes, and I don't want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Good. You mentioned release 3, but it's not yet released. By when do you expect to have that one?
Or probably end of the month.
Okay,
I have
for Christmas.
pretty much prepared everything. I just need to do some documentation, and when I have released it, I can throw away my revision 2 boards, because everybody will want the light show. And
Good.
I have the same for the VIC-20.
Oh, nice.
It's, another software, of course, and another dongle, but it shares the diagnostic dongle for the cassette port. It shares the cables, and so you only, if you have it, you only need this and the diagnostic cartridge to run it on a VIC-20. And one of my next projects is this one. It's a diagnostic clip for the PET.
Oh, nice.
Which is a little bit further away from release.
Good. Any more questions from the attendees? Seems not. Okay, thank you. Then I will stop the recording now. Unfortunately, I see Jay is not in, and he sent me actually just a very short message not long ago that sorry, I cannot make it today. So I don't know what's going on. I hope he's fine. But then can I ask? Then I think it's Ozkan, the next one with the wireless controller receiver for Amiga, so the 500 and the 1200. Ozkan?
Yes.
Yes, if you're all ready, then we are. Just let me click here to record the talk. Yes, and then you can start. Thank you.
Yes. Hi, this is Sven. I would like to talk about my latest project. It's a Bluetooth receiver for Amiga computers. I designed 3 editions. This one is for Amiga 500 and 1200. This one is for Amiga 4000 and Amiga CD32, and this one is for the Amiga 600. As you know, Amiga has different shapes and different models, and the joyport gaps are different from each other. So I have to design, change the space between these ports. So I have to build different PCBs. This small device is for using for PlayStation 3, Xbox, or a cheap Chinese Xbox controllers with Amiga. It supports 2 simultaneously. It has a mouse port for pass-through port. It doesn't require any power source. You can direct plug it to Amiga. You don't have to need any driver. The range is up to 5 meters, so it's very, you can play far from your computer. What else I can say? You know, Amiga hasn't official joysticks, so people don't have. The old joysticks are broken or need some repair. So when you plug this, you can use your PlayStation controllers with Amiga. On the PCB, if you can see, there are 2 LEDs and buttons. This one is the red one is for the power. This one is this white one. It's actually a blue LED. It's for indicator, so you can see if the controller and the receiver are connected. And when you plug it, it automatically waits the joypad to pair or connect. If you pair before the joypad and the receiver, it has a switch. So when you put it in toggle switch, when you put it to the right, you can use the mouse, and when you toggle to the left, it blocks the mouse, and the second player is enabled for playing. So the mouse is not interrupt the game. Actually, if you have any question, I would like to answer.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if there is any question from attendees.
I want to, this project is not belong to me. The source is taken from a project called Blue Retro, but actually the owner of the project doesn't, focus on computers, and it's not officially supports Amiga or the other computers. So I decided to make it suitable for Amiga. I took its firmware. Also, the project owner helped me about some issues. I want to thank him. He's called Dark Cloud. You can find his web GitHub page, and also you can reach from the Discord channel. Also, this device has a unique software update because it has Wi-Fi enabled. So when you can use your computer to update firmware or mapping a joypad, like adding fire any buttons, or change the switching the mapping of the buttons as well. It's a very good device. Also, it supports approximately most of the video game consoles so you can use it with other devices. On my next PCB design, I will prepare a Commodore 64 edition, Atari SD or MSX. So you know that it's the classic design port. So it's a very general computer ports that used in the computers in the 80s, 90s. So do you have any question? I would like to answer.
Yeah, sometimes Maciej, sometimes the audio is not really good. I don't know if it's just on my side, but it was okay to follow what you mentioned. Just wanted to check to ask, because you mentioned the mouse, and that was a question I have. So you can put a controller and a mouse, but then
yes.
what did you mention about that switch? So you cannot have them both at the same time.
I know, and switch is just for cut the interrupt. I mean, when you play two-player game, so you switch to the left, so the mouse will not interrupt the game. I mean, that was the point of this switch on the board.
You cannot share this on C64. It is the same. You cannot. It's basically using the signals totally different way. But you already answered, because I was asking for C64 version, but because it should be rather easy to make one, because at least from the joystick, for the mouse it's different, but for the joystick it's almost identical, I would say. Yeah?
No, joystick is identical. The different part is the space between the joypad.
Yeah.
And I'm some doubts about the power source, because this one is using ESP32 and it requires very power. I mean, first of all, I did the one joystick version, but then I get that the power source from the one port is not enough to run the ESP32, so I have to make a two-player version. So I have to test it on the Commodore 64 that if it is gives enough power source to this dongle. And the main problem is getting the power from the Commodore 64. Or I can put an micro USB port for external power source, but I don't want to make something like that.
Yeah, maybe Sven can answer, but as far as I remember, those ESP chips are very nasty at the startup. They consume a lot of power at the startup, then it's better. Usually had a problem when you start it up, it just draws a lot of current. Could be the problem.
Yes, in the first attempt, I mean, when you power on the computer, it takes very, current, uses very current. So after it starts, it's not using that so much current. So the weak part is for converting to Commodore 64 is testing the power source.
Good. I refreshed the page on Facebook, but I don't see any comments or any questions in the comments. Do we have any more questions here?
How about latency? I mean, how about the lags? Yeah?
I haven't tested. Tested with software or camera, but I haven't seen any lag. I mean, of course, there's a lag when you are using a wireless controller. I mean, I tested about a month on my Amiga, and everything works fine. I mean, there is no, like playing online games. I mean, it's reasonable, like this, I think.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. If no more questions, yeah. Thanks a lot, Ozkan. Thanks a lot. I will stop the recording now. And
Well,
then
Sebastian, I want to say something about my, still, it's out of our contest. Did you hear
Sorry?
me?
Yes, yes.
And still, I am in Sivas. And its ancient name is Sebastian.
I'm sorry, but for the moment, the audio is quite bad. I don't know for the others, but is it the same on your side, Maciej?
And
Can you hear me well?
Okay. The state that I am living in now, did you get it?
No, I did not get it. I'm sorry. Is it on my side only? Can you hear me?
No, it's the quality has dropped, I think.
But can you hear me, or could you hear Ozkan?
I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you too.
And could you hear Ozkan?
Okay. It's a very coincidence because the living city that I'm right now called Sebastian. The ancient name is Sebastian. And the person who lives in here means Sebastian. Means your name. The name which is come from, this is old Roman Empire city.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes, it's a very coincidence.
Good to know.
We learned something. Yeah, good. Good to know. I will check on Google Maps where's that.
Yes, you have to check to Google and you see where is your name is come from. It's come from the city I'm living in right now. The Sebastian
Okay,
is the people who lives in Sivas.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's good to know.
Yes.
Thanks a lot for this information. Thank you. So, Maciej, I think we have Arek.
Yes, Arek is with us.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Arek is with us, but I will be presenting. May I share already? I will be sharing my screen.
Just a second. Yes. Well, I will start recording this. Yes. So now you can start. Thank you.
But you can see my screen, right?
And I can see your screen. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's the first title. Okay. So again, hello everybody. Arek is with me as well, so he will be also answering some questions. And we would like to present to you, actually, it's not hardware, it's not even a software, it is a magazine, which is
in a digital and paper version.
Yeah, we will come to that point. We'll come to that point. I have a slide for that. I have a slide for that. It's a magazine which is available also in English. Yeah, so actually non-Polish speakers can also read it. So magazine is called Komoda and Amiga Plus. There is an interesting part what the Komoda means. If I read Komoda, it sounds almost like a Commodore. So that was the very common nickname for Commodore in Poland. And Komoda basically is a kind of furniture. Actually, it's a dresser when you just put your underwear there. So it's like it just sounds similar. Yeah. To give you an overview of a historical overview of the magazine, we have to actually shift back to the 80s. Let's say the last part of the 80s. Yeah. Actually, if you probably all of you know that Europe was divided into two parts in 80s. It was like a Western bloc and Eastern bloc, and apparently, at least from my point of view, apparently from my point of view, that Poland was on the wrong side, which basically also means that we were like totally isolated from any technological advanced technology, because there was like a ban to export this kind of stuff to Eastern Bloc. And also, even if there wasn't the ban, it was quite difficult to obtain such devices like Commodore 64, for instance, for Polish people, because like average Polish salary in late 80s was about $20 per month. Yeah? So if you just consider like a Commodore 64 costing like $160, it was like a lot. Yeah. But the thing is that due to the relative proximity to, for instance, a country that does not exist today, the country is the West Germany or the West Berlin, was quite common that people were just harvesting second-hand computers. And they were not selling this officially in Poland, but they were selling this on something that was called the computer market or electronic market. So that's like an unofficial circulation of those kind of devices. So as you see on the slide, it was looking like this. It was looking exactly like this. Yeah, I remember that because I was a little boy at that time, but I was going there to see all those computers. Later, it became the biggest trade market for software, which wasn't really from legal sources. Yeah, but it was how it was. Yeah, and the thing is, yeah, I don't know, Comek, if you remember that, because I'm probably a little longer. I live a little longer. My first contact with Commodore computers or with the computers at all was not that I own one, because as I said, those very expensive. Even those second-hand, very old 8-bit computers were still very expensive. But we have magazines. In Poland, there were magazines devoted to computers, like this one, Little Bytek from '86. Yeah, was looking like this. There was always the coolest thing inside was that we had a map of a game. Yeah, there was a map of a game. Yeah, Fairlight from the ZX Spectrum, and there was like a type in basic programs. Type in basic programs, so you can just type it in and get a cool thing. So I was actually reading these basic programs without computer. Yeah. Okay, then I got my first second-hand 64 in like 1990, and I still had to wait 2 years for a magazine that was devoted for Commodores only and Amigas, and it was called Commodore and Amiga. That was how it was called. This is the second issue. I still own it. If you see, it is pretty used, pretty worn. Yeah, because I think I read it like 20 times. That was how it was. Yeah. So as you see, that was 46 issues in Poland between 92 and 95, distributed only in Poland, only in Polish language. Print run 70,000 each month. It was pretty. When I looked at this, it's pretty impressive. 70,000 issues per month, and it was writing about hardware, software, games, programming, everything. Yeah, and from the second edition, they also included a tape or disc with those typing programs and some additional utilities, so you could just buy it separately. The magazine has died in '95. That was roundly the time where the Commodore computers died in Poland as well. And I think that because that was the same editor, like a Bytek and CRA, the Bytek went bankrupt right after that, because some of the bank just went bankrupt and they had all the money there. So this is how it was gone. In December 2007, I wasn't in a retro, but Comek, I assume you were involved in one of those magazines, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in December 2007, I think that was a fanzine called Commodore and Amiga Fun.
Yes.
And then maybe later Commodore and Amiga Games and Komoda. That was all probably available only in Polish and or digital, right?
Yes, right. Only digital.
Only digital. And then my colleagues in 2015, they decided to join the forces. And this is how this K&A Plus was born. Yeah, so this is how this magazine was born. And since the 6th edition of K&A, it was available in both languages, English and Polish, and in a printed and digital version. Yeah, so this is how the printed version looks like. It's slightly better quality compared to the one that you saw earlier. It's also brand new actually, and it is devoted for Commodore, 8-bit Commodores, actually all models, mostly Commodore 64 because it was the most popular Commodore computer in Poland, and for Amigas as well, all kind of Amigas. But actually there is, I think, this cycle which is I don't know how it's called in English, but it is also, I mean, we are writing also about other platforms, other retro platforms as well. And there are four releases per year, so it is released quarterly. So far 21 editions, and 22nd edition is on the way, so it should be released in January.
In January, yes.
Early next year. And what is the content of this? The content is, the main focus is on games and gaming culture. If we compare it with this old magazines, I would say the variety of the content is the same, but it's slightly differently balanced. In 80s and 90s, people were much more devoted to programming, and not that much devoted to gaming. It is totally different now. Most people just want to play game. Therefore, the main focus is on gaming and gaming culture. And we describe we describe some, nostalgic old titles, but there is like a big portion of the magazine is devoted to the new productions. So there are reviews of the new productions.
Important, yes.
Yeah, so this is quite important. But we also write about hardware and including some aftermarket goodies. The last time, the week ago, I had this opened on the right pages. This way, I don't have it, but I think the last time we wrote about Mega 65 project. Yeah, there was one of our editors just got it, and he made a very hot and quick review of the hardware. We have reviews of software, hardware, and also we try to do some interviews with interesting people from demo scene, from the past Commodore times, and so on and so on. There is one interesting cycle called, I don't remember the name in English, but it is devoted to demo scene, and it is written by actually quite famous Polish demo scener, Wacek from RISE. Yeah, from a RISE group, and he's writing about demo parties. Also, he's writing about techniques, how to write the demos, and he's also writing some reviews of the demos. I mean, with a demo, you really need to understand why certain effect is important. Yeah, because if you don't know very well the hardware, you might only focus on aesthetic part of the demos, but it is extremely important to understand what is going on behind, and Wacek is actually doing a pretty good job in explaining this. And we are also writing about coding and tutorials, how to code, how to program with a different language. I will just switch to the content of our next issue, and I will tell you a little bit more what you can expect there. Pretty much about the new games, new releases, like Eye of Beholder. There is a review of the game. Hero for VIC-20. Hero for VIC-20. There is like a impossible. I think, Comek, this impossible mission is the Impossible Mission 3. Yeah, this is the one from Travis. Yeah, I think.
The Impossible Mission it's a new conversion.
New conversion. It's a new conversion.
For plus 4.
For the plus 4. Yeah. So we also write about plus 4. Why not?
And about a book of Impossible Mission.
Okay. So there is also a review of the book. Yeah. So there will be like this devoted. The nerdy stuff later. Yeah. The nerdy stuff later on. We have like a third part of the cycle of the tutorial XC Basic. I really like this Pascal. I have to try it out. this basic is also, I mean, I don't like basic, but I mean, you can code a demo effect with this because it is like a cross compiler actually. My own article, like a second one, how to write an own game. It's very good. You have to read it. No, of course not. But the thing is that I made a challenge to code the game that will be in below 500 lines of kick assembler. Actually, it's 550, but the game is playable, and this is the first part. I will describe how this game is coded and so on. It's very simple, like a Space Taxi clone. Yeah? All the code is open source. And we have also plenty of hardware topics, like playing with cable. I think I wrote a small article about EasyFlash 3 and transferring stuff on cable, because the let's say the leading theme for this, we try to have a leading theme for each of this or leitmotiv for each of the edition. And this time is the connectivity, how you can connect different computers. Actually, yes. I think that playing with cable, our colleague will present that how he connected the Amiga 600 and Atari Mega ST, I think, with one yes. cable, and I think he played Lotus on it. Apparently, the Lotus game uses exactly the same protocol, no matter whether it's Amiga or Atari ST, so you can actually play with one Atari, one Amiga connected together. Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah. Let's stay in touch. Here you have a QR code with our webpage. We are available on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. Honestly, we are also, I mean, if you would like to cooperate with us to publish your content, to demonstrate your hardware, yeah, or software you're producing, or maybe write some articles on any topic connected to retro scene, we would like to invite you to our webpage where there is this contact form. You can contact us and just become a contributor. Also here there is a shop, and you can actually buy. Yeah, we are actually offering also cover discs, like with this old magazine. You see, this is the diskette I was talking. Arek, could you confirm this is a brand new diskette from US somewhere?
Yes, it's brand new.
There is only one company which is producing the 5-inch floppies, and yeah, this is the first. I mean, the first time I see it.
I don't know. They are producer, but maybe it was a magazine stock.
Magazine
stock. I don't know. I don't know.
No matter. However, there is still a possibility to buy new ones if you really need it for any purpose. Okay, so I think that's all from my presentation. I mean, there is a web page. You will get all the informations. You can buy either the digital or physical copy in English, or you can contact us if you'd like to. I know sometimes we're even looking for proofreaders in English language. I mean, we can handle Polish by ourselves, but we really focus on delivering exactly the same quality in English. So we have people who are from like a native English speakers who are also cooperating with us. But maybe somebody else would like to join. Welcome. Yeah.
Good. Arek, I don't know if you want to add something. Or...
No.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if there are any questions from the attendees. I saw actually this article playing with cable. Maybe that's an article for user and to play with. To build the cables without trouble or something.
I think it's typical null modem cable, but I saw this cable, and I think that our colleague has exactly the same problem as all of us when we are trying to solder those tiny connectors, and this never works well. especially when you use it multiple times, it gets broken. Yeah.
No, otherwise, of course, I follow the page, but I see that the posts usually are Polish. I mean in Polish. I don't know if you plan to post when you post something to do it both in Polish and English, or is it just the magazine that is in English, or is it just how does that? Do you have like a logic that it's always in 2 languages, or?
The magazine definitely is in 2 languages. I'm not quite sure about the, let's say, let me just check quickly. Yeah, I would say the page itself is also like a distributed in 2 languages, because you just need to go here and you just need to switch it.
That I see.
Yeah,
you see
yeah.
click on the
Yeah,
I was referring. Sorry, I was referring to the Facebook post that because I follow the page and sometimes I see, and I know it's also in English on the website, but the posts are maybe.
I don't use Facebook, honestly speaking, but I think that Instagram and Twitter account is only tweeting and Instagramming in English, right, Comic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and then I saw the price of the magazine. So if you take the digital edition, it's something like €2 and something, and the printed one, it's 6 or 9. I saw. Is it like 9 with the disc and 6 without the disc, or what is it the difference?
Let me just check. Somewhere here is the choice of the currency. Yeah.
Okay, I have it in euros.
Wait.
Also,
Yeah. There is a moment. This is euro. This is shop printed edition. Something is okay. So the digital Comic, you are the guy who knows the prices. I saw it's like the digital version is very cheap. I would say.
Yes.
You got a PDF. You got a PDF. This is in PDF. It's exactly the same quality as we print physically. Yeah.
But a paper version is not expensive too.
Yeah. It is definitely not. Unfortunately, the printing costs are, and everything is getting more expensive now. I also remember the guy who is doing this this device based on your project. It's Raf from Poland. He also complained, like, for instance, those connectors are not available, and they are extremely expensive now. Like there is a big problem on this supply chain problems currently.
That's right.
I hope this will stabilize at some moment. The same is with the printing costs. Yeah. Okay.
Good. Really, I hope you have an article on Commodore Users Europe.
This edition is closed, but for the next one for sure.
Cool. Good.
We will write about hackathon.
Perfect. Nice. I'm checking on the Facebook page. I don't see any questions or comments there today. I don't know if amongst the attendees, is there any other question for Maciej and Arek? No. Yes. No. Right.
No.
I guess that's a no. Okay. Thanks. I will stop the recording now. Yes, I'm just checking just in case for some reason we would have someone more joining, but no. So that means that in terms of the agenda, we are finished for today. Of course, the next meeting should be sometime in March. I don't have the date yet, but that will be announced on the web page and of course on the Facebook page as well. You're of course welcome to submit your proposal of talks as of today. I remind everyone about this hackathon proposal, and that I will post then the link about with some questions like yeah, if people have interest, that would be somewhere in spring, so after the March meeting, so we still have some time to prepare for that. I want to thank again all of the participants here today. Special also greetings to Jay, who could not make it for some reason. I hope he's okay. And yeah, that's all about it for today. Thanks very much. Have a good end of day, good weekend, and yeah, speak soon. Then I will stop sharing.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And that ends the meeting. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. See you.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Next
See you
time.
later.
Bye.